Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel, your trusted source for bold and honest commentary on South African politics. If you're passionate about leadership, justice, and the future of our nation, then you're in the right place. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment below. We want to hear what you think. Today, we dive into a powerful and thought-provoking political moment that's sparking national debate: Julius Malema's latest comments about former President Jacob Zuma, the generational shift in leadership, and what all of this means for the future of South Africa. Let's break it down. Julius Malema, the fiery leader of the economic freedom fighters, recently made waves with a direct and unflinching critique of Jacob Zuma, the man once known as Msholozi, the struggle icon turned scandal-prone president, and now the leader of the newly formed MK party. Malema's statement wasn't just a personal jab, it was a deep reflection of growing concerns about aging leadership in South Africa and the need to move beyond outdated political ideologies. According to Malema, Zuma's advanced age and his legacy of corruption, poor economic governance, and factionalism disqualify him from being the leader South Africa needs in this critical moment of transition. And that raises a fundamental question: is South Africa ready to embrace new leadership, younger, bolder, and more aligned with the demands of a new generation? For Malema and the EFF, the answer is clear. The EFF's message, especially among young and economically marginalized South Africans, has gained traction precisely because it speaks to these frustrations. With high youth unemployment, land inequality, and slow transformation still haunting the post-apartheid reality, many believe the ANC, and those who once led it, have failed to deliver on their promises. And that includes Jacob Zuma. Malema's criticism is rooted in this sentiment. Zuma's presidency was marked by years of state capture, rampant corruption, and the hollowing out of key state institutions. His relationship with the Gupta family and the collapse of entities like Eskom and SA under his watch are still fresh in the minds of many citizens. It's no wonder why many, including Malema, argue that Zuma represents the politics of the past, a politics that prioritizes patronage over people. But here's where things get even more interesting. Jacob Zuma is no longer just a former president. He's now at the forefront of the MK party, a breakaway movement named after Umkhonto we Sizwe, the ANC's former armed wing. With significant grassroots support, especially in KwaZulu-Natal, the MK party has positioned itself as a force to be reckoned with. In fact, in the recent elections, it managed to secure millions of votes and shake up the traditional dominance of the ANC in KZN. But Malema's critique questions whether this popularity is sustainable or even legitimate. He argues that Zuma is using tribal loyalty, nostalgia, and populist rhetoric to draw support, rather than offering real solutions to the nation's challenges. And let's be honest, that claim resonates with many who feel that the MK party, while symbolically powerful, lacks a clear economic or social vision for South Africa. The deeper issue, though, is generational leadership. Julius Malema is not just calling for change. He's advocating for a new political order, one that puts young leaders with fresh ideas at the forefront. He believes that a nation with a median age of just 27 cannot be led by people in their 80s or 90s who remain tied to liberation-era thinking. In his words, the future of this country should not be shaped by those who have already had their time, but by those who still have a future to build. This is not just a personal view, it reflects a global trend. Across the world, we are seeing a generational revolt. From Chile to Finland, young leaders are taking the reins and rejecting the status quo. In Africa, too, the youth are beginning to demand a seat at the table, rather than waiting for permission to lead. In South Africa, this tension is becoming increasingly visible. The ANC is struggling to rebrand itself to appeal to younger voters, many of whom feel disconnected from the party's liberation legacy. The EFF, by contrast, speaks directly to their frustrations, offering promises of radical land reform, job creation, and economic justice. Whether or not the EFF can deliver on those promises remains to be seen, but what's clear is this: the days of unchecked reverence for struggle veterans are slowly coming to an end. And that brings us back to Zuma. While his supporters still view him as a champion of the poor, his detractors, including Malema, argue that his time has passed. They point to the chaos of his administration, the legal battles he continues to face, and the perception that his political return is driven more by personal vendetta than national vision. Malema's remarks also strike a broader nerve about succession and responsibility. South Africa's future cannot be held hostage by yesterday's leaders who refuse to let go. The country's problems, electricity blackouts, joblessness, poor education, and health inequalities, require forward-looking leadership, not recycled ideologies. Still, let's be fair, Zuma is no political amateur. His ability to rally support, especially in KwaZulu-Natal, and to disrupt national politics, proves he remains a political heavyweight. But the question isn't about influence, it's about direction. Where is he leading the people who support him? And will that path bring real change? As we approach critical milestones, including the 2026 local government elections, these questions will only grow louder. Will the ANC reform itself in time to remain relevant to young voters? Will the EFF continue to rise as the voice of youth and economic transformation? And will South Africans choose vision over nostalgia when they cast their ballots? One thing is clear: the political terrain in South Africa is shifting. And Julius Malema, love him or hate him, has once again put the spotlight on a conversation we desperately need to have about the kind of leadership that will take South Africa into the future. It's no longer enough to fight over legacies. The real struggle now is about ideas, values, and who is best equipped to carry the hopes of a nation still scarred by inequality, unemployment, and lost opportunity. So what do you think? Is Malema right to challenge Zuma's relevance in 2025? Should South Africa be led by younger voices with new ideas? Or do elder statesmen like Jacob Zuma still have a vital role to play in shaping our future? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a deep dive into the politics that matter most to you. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay informed, stay engaged, and stay critical. See you next time.